Hi everyone. In today's clip, I will talk a little bit about active listening. This topic is one of my favorites. As humans, we communicate by talking to one another, and to make this communication effective, there needs to be someone who can listen and respond accordingly. This is where the active listening sort of comes in handy. Without it, the conversation is scattered, and before you know it, you're jumping from branch to branch, hoping to find a branch strong enough to hold on to and steer the conversation in that direction. Active listening happens by preparing to listen, giving the speaker your full attention, observing verbal and nonverbal cues, providing feedback, and demonstrating that you understand without premeditated answers, assumptions, or being defensive. So active listening is a fundamental part of interactions and can help build strong relationships. It can also help us have more meaningful conversations, remember important information, and make the other person feel understood. I remember many years ago watching comedies and understanding the humor in misunderstandings. That is all fun when it's happening in a comedy show, but not so much when it's happening in our lives. It actually becomes quite frustrating. More and more, we pay less attention to what is being said and focus on our own internal conversation. We hear one word, and that sends us in the direction of either defending ourselves, if we have low self-esteem, try to blame the speaker if we have or we are in victim conscious mode, or provide a completely different argument than what is being presented to muddy the water and turn the table around. Conversations have become a game of win or lose. Have no idea where you're coming from, but I want to win mentality. Sometimes the speaker and the listener are both coming from a point of history and not the topic at hand, and that is a disaster waiting to happen. A topic is brought up and one of them says, yes, but do you remember 10 years ago when? We divert the attention from what is needed to resolve right now to what happened in the past. The even more interesting part is that if the past issues are still coming up, very obviously the past conversations around the subject did not lead to resolution, hence the current subject will also join that group and become another page in the history to be brought up at a later date. This is why active listening, coupled with logic and understanding, becomes the most important part of any conversation. Once active listening is engaged, the listener participates in the resolution, and the history will become a book of all resolutions and not problems. Just to mention a few tips for active listening: give your full attention, put away distractions, avoid multitasking, and don't plan what you're going to be saying next. Clear your mind from anticipating a particular reply or outcome, and don't assume what will be said. Show you're listening. Use your body language like eye contact, non-defensive gestures, or even, if it's needed, smiling but not grinning. Listen without judgment. Don't jump to conclusions or impose your opinions. Show understanding. Perhaps confirm what the other person is saying to show that you understand without adding your own flavor to it. Ask open-ended questions to learn more. Summarize the speaker's comments to make sure you're not misunderstanding what is being said. Active listening helps you better understand another person's point of view and respond with empathy. This is important in all types of healthy relationships, whether with spouse, parent, child, another family member, at work, or just with a friend. Being an active listener in your relationships is about recognizing that the conversation is more about the other person than about you. This is especially important when the other person is emotionally distressed. Your ability to listen actively to someone who's going through a difficult time is a valuable communication skill. It helps keep you from offering opinions and solutions when the other person really just wants to be heard and wants to be understood. So instead of focusing on your emotions, the priorities or the shifts on focusing on the speaker's emotion and what it is that they're asking. Things like reflecting, asking open-ended questions, seeking clarification, and watching body language help you develop relationships when meeting new people as well, and helps others feel more emotionally supported by you. There is a resolution at the end of any and each issue that is dealt with through effective communication and active listening. It's only when the method is not being applied where the list of issues become a mountain as we move through life, at which point no resolution can be applied and relationships fall apart. To clear our head, it is needed that we write down the issues, try to remember or clarify the suggested resolution, understand or attempt to resolve it, then move on to the next topic until the only history you have in your mind is the list of resolutions. At this point, you're truly ready to have a conversation that is clear from your judgment, martyr complex, insecurity, low self-esteem, defensiveness, mind reading, or fortune telling. You're free and ready to take in new information and have a meaningful conversation. Hope this has been of some help. Like and follow for more. Be the light.